Why many Filipinos hate their noses and skin color? Hello everyone, kumusta po kayo? Welcome to my channel. This is Filipina Des, and in this video I'm gonna be really nosy about this topic, and I'm gonna give you the answer to this question or to these questions. So sit back and relax. Before I give you the answer, I would like to ask you if you have talked to a Filipina lately or before. It could be online, or you have visited Philippines and you met them. Have you encountered the questions or the statements, oh, I don't like my nose, I think my nose is ugly, oh, my nose is too flat, I have a pug nose, or my nose is too wide and I have flared nostrils, I want to have a foreigner's nose, so on and so forth. And sometimes there are going to be instances that I don't like my skin color, I don't like brown, I think I'll be more beautiful if I have fair skin or white skin. I want to be whiter, and and etc. So probably this question has popped in your mind, like why Filipinos in general, like Filipinos and Filipinas, complain about the shape of our nose and the natural brown skin color that we have or the others have. Okay, so before I continue, guys, please listen carefully. I didn't make this video to insult Filipinos with brown skin color, nor those people who are using skin whitening products, because I'm also guilty about that when I was in my 20s. And this video is for to shed a light on this issue and to give you the facts and just being realistic here. Alright, so I want to share a very personal experience first before I give you the answer to this question. And this is related to the issue that we are talking about. When I was younger, my mom used to pinch my nose with her fingers, and in any random of the day, and she would tell me, Des, we're gonna pinch your nose, and so it would turn into a pointed nose like an American or Australian nose, in short, a foreigner's nose. And I don't understand why she is doing that. Of course it hurts, right? Because your mom just wanna make you look beautiful, or maybe you look ugly, I don't know, or maybe I look ugly that time. And there are a lot of times she would remind me to use this. It's a, I don't know if you can see that, so that's a clothespin or a clothes clip. So we use this to to clip the clothes, and she wants me to pinch my nose using this one for a few minutes, and I always ended up being teary-eyed, and I hate it, right? So I don't have problems with my nose, but she would tell me, like, I want you to have a pointed nose, not like my nose. Okay, so she is basically complaining about the shape of her nose, which for her it's ugly, but for me it's not. So her nose is a typical Filipino nose, low and wide with flared nostrils, and for her there's something wrong with that. And one more thing, let's talk about the skin color. Every time we go to a beach, she would tell me to, hey, you gotta cover yourself with a towel, or not really a blanket, but like a jacket. Wear long sleeves to cover my neck, shoulders, arms, and every skin that can be exposed under the sun. So I was like, why do I have to do that? I want to enjoy the sun, the sand, the salty water, right? And for her, getting darker is not a good thing. So yeah, I try to understand her, and Maybe it's like a insecurity. Yeah, definitely it's an insecurity to a lot of Filipinas. So in my end, I want to enjoy the beach, so I don't really care. You know, when I was in my 20s, I was a bit conscious or critical about I want to get whiter or I don't want to get darker because I won't look beautiful. But as I get older, guys, you will care less, right? And you know what I mean. You know, rice is more important than skin lotions or skin whitening products. All right. So now I'm gonna give you the answer to this question: why Filipinos or a lot of Filipinos hate their nose and the skin color. I'm talking about the colonial mentality. So, to my viewers and listeners, some of you have heard of this word before and you got the idea what colonial mentality is about. If this is your first time to hear this word, let me define it for you. So, by definition, it is a form of internalized oppression that conditions colonized people, so we are talking about the Filipinos here, to believe that their ethnic or cultural identity is inferior to Western culture or whiteness. So therefore, they live their lives striving to be westernized and learning to hate their indigenous roots. Isn't it very sad? Right, so let me give you a little bit of our historical fact, guys, and you will like this. And I was shocked to learn that we have this during the pre-colonial times. So we have this Visayan tradition, or it's a cultural practice that's called binokot. Okay, so let me explain this to you. Binokot is a cultural practice which is secluding and lightening the skin of a young woman, so it's the daughter in the family, with the expectation that seclusion will result in a higher value placed on the girl by marital suitors in the future. Wow. So our Filipino ancestors asked for a high bride price from the family of the suitors. Wow, that's shocking. I don't know these things, like it's all new. So let's fast forward. The Spanish colonial government also established a class system to which, of course, purebred Spanish-born, Spanish-speaking individuals were on top, like on top of the social pyramid. They can acquire government positions, high church seats, and certain businesses. And I'm talking about the hacienderos. So the hacienderos own the sugar and the rice fields. The native Filipino is called the Indio. The Indios were the workforce of the wealthy Spanish landowners. And upper class Spanish were typically fair complexioned with tall, sharply shaped noses. On the other hand, the Indio has the appearance of a dark brown, sunburned complexion, low, wide nose with often flared nostrils. There you go. So, know the reason or the answer to this question, right? And don't you guys get surprised if you come to the Philippines and you see an aisle or a bunch of skin whitening products in the supermarkets, at the malls, drugstores, or you can see a lot of them in the social media ads, right? So because Filipinos also believe, a lot of us believe that having white skin is considered rich, or you will be seen as a rich person. You will be respected, you will be treated well, and if you have the pointed nose, or the foreigner's nose or Spanish nose, you will be perceived as very attractive, beautiful, and someone with a class, or someone who belongs to the high society, like you are rich as well, right? So it's a very sad reality, and I would say we have to, like, we can also blame, we can also blame the social media ads, the beauty influencers, the magazines, and what other nationalities put in internet. And that Filipinos check Facebook, internet, and a lot of stuff online, and they will see these things, and they will now have this idea that oh, so it means that I will be popular, I will be seen as beautiful if I have this Korean glass skin. So they will start getting the IV, or the glutathione drips, or rhinoplasty for their nose. Okay, so there you go, guys. That's all, and I hope you enjoyed this video. So if you have a comment, suggestion, reaction, just use the comment box below this video, and I'll see you next time. So thank you guys for watching, and take care.